Tyson Fury is making another return to boxing. He's come out of retirement for a fifth time. Speaking at the press conference yesterday, he explained why his return will be good for the sport.
The biggest turning point in this comeback for me was a tragedy that happened with Anthony Joshua. And I thought, you know what, life is very, very short and very precious and very fragile. And anything could happen at any given moment. And you should never put things off until tomorrow or next year or next week. Because tomorrow is not promised to nobody. I made my mind up there and then that I'm going to come back to boxing because it's something that I love and I'm passionate about and that I've always been in love with. I came back for one reason only, and that's to make boxing great again. It's become quite boring. Boxing is at its maximum potential when Tyson Fury is actively fighting. And I didn't say that. An AI, the cleverest AI on earth said that, ChatGPT. So believe that.
Yeah, Tyson Fury. Look, he's 100% of the time, he is entertaining. He is.
Of course he is.
He's a showman.
Of course he is.
Massive showman.
Of course he is.
Pleased to say joining us now, another of the big characters of the boxing world, somebody who's experienced the punching power of Tyson firsthand from being his sparring partner, a man who knows exactly what it means to be a heavyweight champion. Good morning to Johnny Fisher. Morning, Johnny.
Morning, Johnny.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Ali. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, look, it's a pleasure, mate. Thanks for joining us. Was there ever any doubt in your mind that we'd see Tyson in the ring again?
Listen, he's achieved so much, fighting Deontay Wilder, beating him, Vladimir Klitschko. I mean, he's given us great fights with Usyk, completely up to him, but he is a massive character, a massive personality, and he galvanises them people who aren't traditional boxing fans. So it's great to have him back, and I was pretty, in the back of my mind, I did think he'll come back because he's got a lot more to give.
Johnny, what do you think in the grand scheme of things with Gareth on earlier on? And he reckoned, obviously, you can never say 100%, but he thinks it'd be, if not a comfortable victory, he can't see another than that against Makhmudov.
I mean, it's the age-old story, isn't it? You can't write someone off like Makhmudov. He's had 18 first-round knockouts. He's 6'8" himself. He's a big old unit. He's going to come and bring the heat, and this is his chance. I mean, Fury can't take him lightly at all because he's going to be coming thinking this is his chance to go to another level in boxing. In boxing knownness, in boxing media, as a boxing media personality. So it's going to be his golden ticket.
Johnny, what do you make of it when Tyson Fury says boxing's become boring?
I wouldn't say boring when he said that. I thought probably not, because heavyweight boxing is never boring, really, when you put two guys like that in the ring. But he does add something unique to the game. His whole thing is his family as well. His dad, they galvanise and they get people interested who aren't normally interested in boxing as well. So he's got a point about that. He brings a uniqueness to the sport, let's say that.
Johnny, I was going to say to you, mate, I still think there'll be a great demand. Perhaps not the demand that there once was. You know, maybe a few years ago, everybody, myself included, were dying to see Fury versus Joshua. That was a fight everybody wanted to see. It might not have just the same demand, but I still think the public will want to see it. What do you think?
Yeah, it's probably a fight that could have happened 5-6 years ago, and it would have been in the heyday, but it's still one that the public, the wider British public and the international audience will want to see. I think as a boxing fan, just in general, Fury's given us some unbelievable fights. I think back to the fight in 2015 where he beat Vladimir Klitschko. That didn't get the overall scope that loads of people would have probably thought. But someone like Anthony Joshua, who brings his own audience as well, it is a fight that's going to garner a lot of attention no matter what, whether it was 5 years earlier or it's another 5 years from now. People will still tune in.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right as far as that goes, Johnny. I think the day that he does finally retire, be a big loss for the boxing world. He puts bums on seats. He's a one-off. He's a showman. He's an entertainer. And, of course, above all of that, he's a blooming good boxer.
Yeah.
Definitely. I agree.
Johnny, listen, before we move on, it'd be remiss of me not to ask you, how did we look after you at the weekend, mate? I believe you were up north of the border.
Yeah, we was north of the border, and I was with my younger brother William, who is a quintessentially English-looking bloke, but we was well looked after. He was wearing his wax jacket and he had his boots on, but he was the Scottish fans. It was like a cauldron in there, and whenever we come up to Murrayfield, it's like Scotland raised their level and we got well and truly beat. So you can't make any complaints. We lick our wounds and we travel back down south of the border.
Hey, Johnny, an English-looking bloke. Do we stand out that much?
Yeah, I think so. Well, he's had the wax jacket on. He had leather gloves on. He's got long blonde hair. You know, he's...
Hey, mate, The alarm goes off as soon as you get by Carlisle, mate. There's an alarm system goes off.
I don't think there's any Scottish people wearing leather gloves. I think so. As soon as they saw that, I think he had a few looks from people down south, let alone up there. So
No,
let's see.
love it.
Brilliant, mate.
Johnny, thanks a lot, mate.
All the best, mate.
Thanks, lads. Have a good one. Cheers.
You too.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Ali. How are you?
Yeah.
Very well,
I love
thanks.
the fact he always makes a headline or two. Is he right? Has boxing become boring?
It hasn't, but it's certainly more entertaining with him on the dais, or certainly there yesterday. Tyson Fury is full of life, full of colour. Oh, look, he's back for a massive payday against a Russian in Arslanbek Makhmudov, who he should beat, which will lead to an even bigger payday against the guy he mentioned there, Anthony Joshua, should Anthony Joshua decide that he will come back and fight again, which I think he will. But look, Fury brings a lot of colour. He's the major entertainer in the blue ribbon division, always has been. There was a lot of hubris from him yesterday, and it remains to be seen whether Makhmudov, who's a big, dangerous fighter in the top 20 in the world, will end up being the nemesis for Anthony Joshua at Tottenham Hotspur on April the 11th when they meet. I don't think he will. I think he's made for Fury, but Fury, who's now 38, if his legs have gone, we will find out on the night.
We'll find out sharply. She's not fought in Britain since, I think, December 2022. Gareth, what problems, if any, do you think this opponent can give Fury?
Well, it'll be down to what's happened to Fury over the last 15 months. He looked pretty good against Alexander Usyk in those two fights. Obviously, he was knocked down in the 9th round in the first one, and it was a really close, competitive fight. Even though I agree with the judges that Alexander Usyk won 8 of the 12 rounds in that second fight in Riyadh in late 2024. Fury's had a year away. He hasn't gone overweight in excess. He's stayed fit. He's looked really healthy and well. Obviously, he's based out in Thailand at the moment. He's gone back there today. He just came over for the press conference. If he's not what he was, and it's 15 months on, then it will show in him. But I think Makhmudov's carefully chosen in a way, because Makhmudov comes forward, throws his punches, and I think Fury should dismantle him and stop him in 6 to 8 rounds. If he doesn't, people will have question marks. But behind the scenes, Turki Al-Sheikh, and who began this movement in the heavyweight era and is involved in the tectonic plate shifting in America with Dana White and Zuffa Boxing at the moment, looks like he's doing deals with Alexander Usyk, Anthony Joshua and Fury behind the scenes just to round off this era at the moment. And if the Joshua fight doesn't come about, Fury could always fight the winner of Fabio Wardley and Daniel Dubois, who fight on May the 9th for the WBO title.
Yeah. I mean, I know you say that, 15 months on, he may come back and not be the same fighter. How long can he go on for, do you think?
2 or 3 more fights, and I think that's it. As I say, I think he's in that stage where he's in the mega payday. He was wearing his Netflix tie yesterday, his Netflix sliders, bedecked in these kind of dazzling clothes as always, as he is now. His second series at home with the Furies is about to come out in April. The executives were there yesterday. He's one of the linchpins, as he was when Turki Al-Sheikh came in, for Netflix and the big streamers for boxing entertainment. We've seen it over and over again now that the big stars, the big figures are brought back. I don't think he's got long left. As I say, I think he's getting giant paydays. He loves the sport of boxing, as he said there. He's not inspired, but realising, given the tragedy of what happened to Anthony Joshua, losing his 2 friends in that car accident, if you are around and you do love your sport, what's the point in sitting out? I don't think he'll be around boxing when he's 40. And yesterday, of course, we had the drama of his father, John Fury, who gets very over-passionate in these scenarios, who'd spotted Carl Froch working on a platform with Lennox Lewis, broadcasting the event, and absolutely kicked off. I think we might have a clip of it, but that was outrageous as well yesterday, but nothing we haven't seen before.
What was it all about, though? I mean, what made him flip? What made him turn, if you like?
Well, we saw it. We've seen this a few times. If you recall, when his son Tommy fought KSI,
Yeah.
we saw John Kickoff in Manchester. We saw the melee and the headbutt at the Usyk fight when Tyson Fury fought Alexander Usyk in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And yesterday, when he was up on a balcony, he'd spotted Carl Froch, who's been trolling him every now and again. He really, literally did kick off, and he went on a rant, and he was annoyed for about 10 minutes, and then he joined them on the main stage, and then he said goodbye. It's part of the noise and the fury, if you like, around the Gypsy King.
Yeah, I mean, unwanted sideshow, in my opinion. But there we go. Gareth, thank you very much indeed.
Gareth, thanks, mate. Have a good one.
Cheers, always a pleasure, gents.